Good evening, my friends. It is time for another Jiggly Jigsaws. Third, this is my channel. So, we're going to get right into this wonderful little puzzle. It's a really hot puzzle this time. Start some music, puzzle, and let's get started. You ever feel like you need a third monitor? Two monitors is just not enough. Maybe if I got some 4K monitors, I'd have enough screen space for what I want to do. Myself some time, I will get there eventually. Not be a parent, but I do have, what is the word? Not antisocial behavior, I'm just not, I do better by myself. I'm an introvert, that's the word. But, most of my friendly interactions are with people that I see frequently, but do not really have, what you would say, an actual relationship outside of the cursory, perfunctory stuff that you have. And what comes with that is used to going to a store and seeing somebody and, striking up friendly conversation every time you see them, and then you don't see them for months on end. It's kind of nice to see them again. I ran into somebody today that made me happy because with all the stuff that's been going on this year, don't know if they got sick or anything like that, but it's nice to know that they are alive and well. I'm also very tempted to start doing segment is basically taste testing stuff. Unlike some people out there, I've got no issue trying. In fact, I quite enjoy trying new food. Growing up, okay, so I saw some of my cousins quite frequently as I was growing up, and because they would be at my grandparents' house quite frequently. Lived there. And one thing I never really understood about them was constant, oh, that's disgusting, I don't want to eat that, without ever trying it, without knowing much about the food, they would turn their nose up at everything. And I found it to be rather funny. A few years ago, when my grandmother was still alive, she and my aunt and my first cousin once removed, which would be my cousin's daughter, we went out to a sushi restaurant, and my aunt was rather off-put by it, because, raw fish, very very homegrown, need to have American food type stuff. But yeah, my grandmother, most Japanese restaurants have other things other than, sashimi or sushi, the menu. So they both got things that they would enjoy. So it was my birthday dinner a few years back, and uh, my little cousin, she would just eat what was in front of her, and she really, really liked the California rolls that were given to her, and um, she even reached the point where she was like asking if she could try one of the rolls that I had got. Um, I would have loved to, except for the fact that, I don't really think that someone's system, someone that young, not always the best to introduce them to a certain type of raw food that their system may not be able to process well. So had to say no to her on that, but she absolutely loved all the sushi that she was given. Most of it was stuff like California roll or um, I did let her try the eel, and she loved the eel. And that's only because I know that you do not serve eel raw. I mean, you can, it's just going to be disgusting and extremely unhealthy. So, yeah, it was one of those things that, my little cousin was doing something that her father and her aunts and uncles would never attempt, and that was eating sushi. I hope that she retains that adventurous spirit as she gets older, because it can be difficult when you have parental influences that are not necessarily adventurous. So that was a fun thing that happened a few years ago. And it was great watching my aunt just stare incredulously at the little one devouring sushi. Because none of her kids and um yeah, none of her kids would be willing to it would be raw fish. No, I'm not going to eat that. It's not all raw fish. I'm still not going to eat it. Okay, more for me. But yeah, none of her kids would ever have attempted to try anything like that. Very PB&J group. And so I was raised a bit differently, despite both of all of us being raised in the same religion, um, which was Mormonism. Don't get me started on that. I'm not gonna talk about that. But one big aspect of the religion was you grow up, you go on a mission, and that's just part of what you do. And my mom was raising me and my brother to go on a mission someday. And part of that was you're going to get served food that you may not like. You gotta eat it anyway, because it's a matter of that's the only food you're going to be getting, and it's extremely rude and discourteous not to eat something when you are being fed by members of the ward that you are visiting. So, I learned to stomach quite a lot, and later on, when I had to deal with starvation and not being able to actually have actual food, and I made do with what I could find, I learned to eat quite a bit of different stuff. And I'm not saying like garbage diving, I'm saying like, I know what dog food tastes like. I can probably tell you what would be the best dog food to try if you were interested in learning what they taste like, because it's just something that happened in my past that was a survive or starve. And I know that there are others that have dealt with worse than that. I think the worst that happened to me was that I had to survive for about 2 weeks after Christmas one year. The entirety of Christmas break. I survived the entirety of Christmas break on the Christmas candy that was stockings and whatnot. And there was no food. Parents were working or sleeping or out of the house at the time. And brother had been spending most, if not all of his time outside of the house. You know, back then I was kind of angry, but, you know, I understand now. If I had had the ability to be outside the house, I would have. But yeah, starvation is not fun. And when all you have is Christmas candy, it's nice to have something, but, you know, something substantial is really nice too. So, knowing that information has carried over to how I feel about how I felt when I was in school. I'd have, especially working in theater, a lot of the students would go straight from class to rehearsals without eating, so I would do my best to have like something in my bag that I could share, that I could give them, or I would go and pick up donuts and bring them, because it's a little something to keep the energy up until they can get something more substantial. Because there are a few things more draining than having to perform while you are starving. While they aren't by definition starving, not having enough food in your system translates to, for most people, a bit of crankiness. But yes, I hope that nobody that's watching this video, that's looking at the stream right now, has ever or will ever experience that type of hunger. Starvation is not, it's not pleasant. Also, being hypoglycemic did not make things easier, because with the hypoglycemia, I needed actual food, or I needed to keep the constant flow of sugar into my body. And one of them was healthier than the other, but not an option. But I survived, so I'm sharing some of my insights. my experiences are not universal. No, I don't claim them to be. So yeah, I've got a bunch of ideas going forward, but a lot of it is resting on getting this script done. I've a small impasse, but I'm still chugging along. I've got some ideas. I think what I might do is just move on to the other Act 2, since it's a choose adventure type thing. With the other Act 2, use that, then focus on the Act 3s as the creativity hits, just so that I can continuously have something being. Can't rush creativity, but you can spend time thinking about what you're doing. Looks right, but oh yes, in a bit I am going to be streaming Dessert First. A friend told me about a game, and I have the demo. It's called Spiritfarer. I don't know what to expect. They just said, based upon what they've seen me play and enjoy, I might like it. I'm going to give that a look at after I finish. Genshin Impact. I'm debating whether I'm going to stream that or not. But when the play does get completed and everything, I'm really hoping to be able to stream it for everybody. And, you know, be able to have those that are watching interact with it. I'm hoping that everything comes out well with the designs, that we can get it watched by a lot of people, more than would have been able to see it if it were produced on the stage outside of COVID. Because it would be great to have just people seeing something that I've put so much work and effort into be realized on the stage, and it would also be great for my friend who commissioned the play for their master's program and get honest feedback on So if you're watching this and the play hasn't gone live, then that might be something that hopefully you can participate in the future. It's one of those funny things. Like many people I've spoken to that don't know much about theater, and at the time when I decided on theater as a major, I was not the ideal subject for joining theater because I didn't really know what I was getting into. I needed a creative outlet, and that's where I initially wanted to follow film, but there are no good film schools where I live, and because of my situation, I'm taking care of mother. So I went for a local school. They had a theater program, and a lot of theater can translate. Not saying it does, it can translate over to film. And I just fell into theater, and I fell in love with theater. And COVID hit as I was just I was sinking my teeth into something and finally, getting some traction on, connections and making things work when COVID hit and I was no longer able to do anything. So all of the reputable theaters have been closed. The ones that really are, I'm going to be surprised if there are many theaters that have survived this, that have not tried to go online or just do something different than what they have been doing. It's one reason I feel that we need the National Endowment for the Arts increased, is so that stuff can happen in the industry, but it does not spell the end for people whose livelihood depends on it. I guarantee you, no matter what type of media you I'll wait for the screen. Okay. No matter what type of media that you participate in, that you consume, it is being helped in some way by the National Endowment for the Arts in the US. You may not realize just how important that program is. You watch TV. Yeah, watching TV is like something that most people do in this country. And you want to say that, people that act and whatnot, it doesn't take that much to act, take that much to do certain things. I can't think right now. My brain just died on me. No matter what type of media you consume, be it music, be it TV, radio. Disc jockeys have to go to school. Most disc jockeys, I should say. There is school that you can go to for learning how to, be an online personality or be an on-air personality. And I've got some friends that they were in the radio program over at school I went to. I was actually on the air a few years back too. mean, even journalism has a sense of needing to perform in it. And any journalist, I would actually say every journalist should at least have taken one acting class, so they know how to present themselves well and, hide a lot of the natural tics and whatnot that we have if they are trying to go for the emotionless that many try to emulate. Don't necessarily approve of that type of journalism, but some people do. But, yeah. The arts and humanities are something that, now more than ever, we need. We lose connection to what makes us human. It's one of those things that's a lot harder to resurrect than it is to nurture. So yes, I'm going to be plugging the play when it gets closer to being released. I'm going to be asking some friends if they'd be willing to possibly do a simulcast as well. Okay. That was done relatively quick and relatively easily, even with the talking. Now, I said this was going to be a hot puzzle. And it will be. Looks cold, but I guarantee you the water is boiling. If not completely, then partially. If you're wondering something like, well, why aren't you writing right now? Most of my creativity happens late. My brain doesn't seem to like to do a lot of the heavy thinking until well after midnight. I'm a night person. If I didn't have to get up in the morning for certain appointments or to my mother to appointments, and I would be asleep during the daylight hours. Lava! Well, I suppose it's... I actually forget the terminology. It's been a long time. I know it's magma after a certain point. There's magma and there's lava, and they are scientifically different. One of them is, if it's underground, then it counts as magma. If it's above ground, it's lava. And if it's happening near you, it's certain death, usually, if it's explosive. much pink. There, you are going there, yes. That's about it. Yep. I really want to visit Iceland and how they do things there. Almost visited Iceland when I went to school. Would have been a multiple hour layover. But I had a traveling companion with me and not conducive to the plans. I need to go back to England. Such a fun trip. Good there. Kind of wish some of my experiences were different. Mostly that I was not in constant pain all the time. That really did a number on me. I had some of my professors questioning, like pulling me aside and just having a serious talk about, is this the right path for you? And it's like, no, it is. I still believe it is. After my surgeries, started feeling a lot better. That was after graduated. Exactly, that. Finally found where that one went. Yeah. Wow. Lava underwater. It could be reflection. Probably reflection. It still looks like it's under the water. Also funny how something that we think might be something that in the moment we think is a horrible thing that has happened, and we can later look back on it and realize, hey, if this hadn't have happened, a lot of really amazing things would not have happened. So that negative thing in your life might not be as negative months, few years down the road. Take everything in stride and keep moving. And I've got chronic depression. I can definitely empathize with not feeling up to doing, not feeling up to even believing that that is possible. I know my experiences are not universal. Hoping that there's enough there that expressed, explained, just shared, that shows that it's worth continuing forward, no matter how dark the path may seem. Look at me, I've become a bloody motivational speaker. My friends, I really hope that things are going well for you. I will be seeing you again later tonight for Spirit Fair. I've got everything set up for it. Don't know anything about the game, so it'll be a blind playthrough. Only thing I've done is set up controls and set up resolution, so until then, like, subscribe, or comment, only if you want to. I will not hold it against you if you don't. Be kind out there, have a good solar cycle, take care of yourself, take care of others, please be safe. Have a wonderful evening, and hopefully I will see you later tonight.